James, one of the things that I heard you talk about when Annette was talking, and particularly in relation to coaching, was building pyramids. And I know that when I first met you, you said to me that you were a cheerleader. Now, I'm not sure what my response was, but I could almost start laughing now. And that's from an Australian cultural point of view. So what is cheerleading? What is cheerleading so that Australians can understand what cheerleading's about? I don't know about Michael. What would come to mind for you?
Girls with pom-poms.
Right.
Short skirts.
Yep. Annette?
So like, Sydney Swans.
Swanettes.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys came to mind for me. So what is it all about so that we understand?
Well, it started years ago, and actually it was started by men as a support for the crowd for American football.
Right.
And it started with maybe one or two guys with large megaphones inciting the crowds to cheer on their teams. In the 70s, it evolved to more of a female activity, and it just recently has come full circle. But currently, the composition of teams has been focused more on co-ed men and women together. There are all-girl teams that are still highly popular, but it's quite different than the day of just picking up a pom-pom and dancing, although we do have like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which are very popular, and like the Laker girls for American basketball. But
and that's different from what you do?
It's different from what I do because that's primarily just dancing and entertaining the crowds. What I do as far as cheerleading goes is actually try to incite the crowds to support whatever endeavor that we're cheering for. So it might be, rather than just music, using your voices to have the crowd yell back at you, "Go
Right.
fight, win," and doing that while building pyramids and to really motivate the crowd.
How about we have a look at some of the stuff that you do?
Absolutely.
What did you think?
That's unbelievable.
How incredible is
Nat, are you
that?
ready to go up in the air?
Oh yeah. Let's try it.
So can you train us to do something like, how long would it take us to learn to do that kind of, those incredible stunts?
Well, surprisingly, half that team that you saw there had never had any experience performing at all. So it has taken us about a year to get them to a performance level. Some of the people that you see being tossed in the air have obviously been doing it for quite some time, and we just try to put our best people in the best positions.
So what does it mean to be a captain of Cheer LA?
Well, it's a little bit about coaching, sort of we can respond to what Annette had to say about developing your team or developing your skills. And then, it's about organizing the team in a way that we can transfer those skills from somebody who is knowledgeable to somebody who isn't as knowledgeable, and to bring the team up to the goal or level that we would like to be.
If you were to go to Michael to look to buy insurance for it, you wouldn't want the insurance company to see what you guys do because you'd never get insurance for it. Michael, you've worked in insurance companies in Australia, in London, was it Lloyd's TSB, and where did insurance come from? Who came up with this idea that we're all going to sort of put in and try and cover ourselves against?
There's a couple of stories that go around. Basically, you had a group of investors sitting in a coffee shop. You had someone who owned a ship who was taking it to the East Indies or whatever to buy nutmeg and spices and whatever they wanted to buy. They decided that there was a big risk that they were going to lose that ship, so they'd have a slip of paper, and at the bottom of the slip of paper the investors would put down how much they wish to insure the vessel for,
Right.
and that's where the term underwriting comes from, because it was underwritten on the contract.
No way.
And
Never knew that.
so they basically put down how much they wish to underwrite them for, and they'd get a fee for doing that.
Right.
And if the ship was lost, they'd then pay up. And as time went on, they got better statistics on how many boats were going to be lost, and they could rate the premiums that they charged more effectively.
And how long ago did this happen, this coffee shop?
1670s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's transformed from there
Absolutely.
into lots of different types of insurances. Clearly, I wouldn't ask you which companies you would insure. I would imagine in your role working in Australia that you'd have some of the largest companies in Australia that you need to insure.
That's right.
Yeah.
I specifically work for financial institutions.
Right.
So big banks are the thing that I'm interested in, and big banks are the thing that I buy insurance for.
So you're buying insurance from insurance companies.
That's right.
So you're a broker.
So I'm a broker.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you personally get a cut from that, or does the company get it?
Okay. I personally don't get a cut from
Right.
that. No. That's some brokers work that way, and some brokers don't.
Okay.
I think it breeds a sort of sense of professionalism if you do a job and get remunerated properly without necessarily getting commission for that particular
Right.
job.
Kind of like a kickback as such.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
What is it that motivates you to come down here?
Sun, cash, and actually making a difference.
Sharing what I've got, what I know.
The beautiful people.
I know that there's a lot of people out there without a job, so that really motivates me.
Lunch. My daughter.
Well, it actually really doesn't.
Challenging. The prospect, I suppose, of bettering myself and knowing that someday there's a chance for me to project myself into the future to be something that I've always hoped to be, like maybe a senior underwriter or a manager one day, yeah.
The money? No.
And the money.
The money.